One minute. So, the first question, Mr.
It's okay.
Okay?
It's okay.
Let's go.
So, it's great to be here in 2018 in Sao Paulo at the Lean Enterprise Brazil Summit. Got some beautiful backdrop here, nice blue, and a bunch of leapers along the wall holding A3s. And it's an amazing thing to reflect upon, 2018. So I've been coming here to Brazil for 20 years. We've had many different summits. It's grown now to over 1,200 people. It's grown steadily year after year. 20 years ago, it was much smaller, and no one knew what we were talking about. Mainly the people we were talking with were manufacturing people, senior, mid-level executives, a few others would show up. Whereas now, today, it's an incredibly diverse group of people. When Christopher Thompson showed the people who were visiting, showed a pie chart of who's here. And it was equal distribution amongst a lot of different sectors, different types of people. And the people I talk to now, there are beginners that don't know much. They come here just to begin their learning. And there are people who have been coming for the last 20 years, who have led initiatives in companies that have brought about great change. So the diversity here is phenomenal. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of. It also gives us a lot to reflect upon by coming here, so that we don't only just give lectures, we get a chance to learn. So in this trip so far, I've visited 3 companies that were really kind of mind-expanding visits. One company applying lean to product and process development, making incredible strides. Technique FMC has taken their core products and putting deep sea equipment, Christmas trees and the connectors and manifolds, these mixtures that go thousands of feet under the ocean, and so therefore have to work perfectly for decades. Applying creativity and lean practices to bring about great change. So they decide that they take something that's as big as this room and decide that to use an innovative problem solving, to shrink it in half the number of parts, half the weight, half the cost, and then use lean LPPD principles and practices to actually achieve that, to achieve those results. To go from there to Globo, the TV station, which is the TV channel, which is dynamically doing incredibly amounts of work that changes every day. For one show, they'll shoot 23 or more scenes. They have to be rehearsed and shot over and over. So from a time frame of years to develop a product that goes under the seabed, in the deep sea, to something that's generating entertainment content every day, to then going to CI&T, where they're a software developer that's evolved into a company that gets deeply embedded with their customers, so that you almost, the distinction between them and their customers starts to melt away, so that they're helping their customers evolve. They're not just doing software development for them anymore. They're providing digital tools and digital solutions that are also changing CI&T. And I believe they actually have the potential then to change lean thinking. Lean thinking has always been about shortening the time between we can conceive of value and making that value available for customers. What's happening now with the speed of digital, we're able to make that happen faster and faster. So I think in some recent years, some of the movement around lean IT may have been a little bit misplaced. It's like big data, and you have this this surge of companies applying mass thinking to the collection of data, and then crunch that and try to analyze that in ways that probably weren't helping us to get products that would be closer to their customers. I think this new emphasis on digital lean is a much better directed way to go where we want to go, both for the digital movement and for the lean movement as well. So as I see all this taking place, we talk to people here at the summit, again over 1,200 people. We have senior executives. At one level, the problems that are being faced today are the same ones they were 20 years ago. It's a matter of understanding where you are, understanding where you need to be, really grasping the gap between those two, and thinking of how you can use lean practices and to close that. Now, 20 years ago, things were more chaotic in most of the companies. They were less stable. So the specific things they were working on day to day were different, kind of more basic, you might say. But actually, that's not the case. They were working on things that it's not the matter of it being direct operations is more basic. It's what you're working on has different levels to it. And so now you peel back more and more of the layers, and people are attacking some of the same problems in different ways. But the issues of defining your problem, improving the work, taking out waste, making sure the work is really user-friendly for the people doing that work, developing people so they can do their work, developing capability throughout the organization at all levels, in all different functions, developing management systems that are appropriate to enable us to steadily move towards our target conditions, and then developing people so that they can have the right kind of behaviors that are appropriate to develop people to be able to do the work, to solve the problems that we all come together every day in our organizations to do. So really, 20 years ago or today, it's that basic thinking that underlies everything. That's kind of the hardest part. And what's interesting there also is that 20 years ago, in the Lean Summits, we were talking about PDCA, how we can have a plan, a hypothesis, and understand the situation, take that out into the real world and see what happens, to study and reflect on that, and then to continue to go around that PDCA wheel. That's the same thing we're still talking about today. So the fundamental problems, I don't think have shifted. The way we think about them, the tools at our disposal, and the conditions of companies has changed a lot. So every time we come to these events, we learn more and more. And that sense, this year here in Sao Paulo is no different from any other. And I have another day of learning to be able to do with 1,250 friends here. We'll see what they have to say.
Oh, thank you.